Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only. You think I'm fucking with you? I am not fucking with you. You know what it takes? It takes brass balls.
Down. I'm so fucking nice. I'm a grown-up. I can portion control.
Right. I mean, I would like to think so. Yeah, I mean, there are certain times in my life where I'm like, I can portion control this, I can control that, and then it ends up, I am still a child in some ways. That
yeah, well, that's the tricky part where I'm like, oh man, I have actual control over who I am as an individual, and then I'll buy a 6-pack of beer and it disappears in like a 2-hour period, and I'm like, I have a problem. It's the accessibility that's damaging, not myself. I'm not the problem, actually. I refuse to take, ownership of my mistakes.
Yeah, if it wasn't there, you wouldn't have to worry about it, right?
Yeah, who the fuck bought that? Me.
Yeah, me. And if it's going to sit there, then, I mean, I have to consume it.
Mm-hmm. Well, what, am I going to let it expire? You have expired beer? You hate yourself? Well, if anybody would have a good giggle about anime titties, though, it would be Spiders.
It would be Spiders, yeah.
He's kind of got the vibe of someone who can separate degeneracy from art.
Mm-hmm. Oh, most certainly.
I ended up talking to him a couple times. We just had like video calls. It was, I'm trying to think. It was before one of his like big, properly edited like break. It was before his Andro Dunos video came out.
Oh, nice. This is a minute ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Spiders and I have been talking for a while. Because he had seen like the germination cycle videos, and he reached out and he's like, dude, it's like crazy that you just like put out a video on like failing, and he's like, it's really inspiring. And I was like, oh, that's cool, man. Like, and then he went on to make like the fucking art house existence of shmups, and I was like, oh, all right, fuck me. I can. All right, you take that torch and run with it.
Right. I remember finding him through a YouTube recommendation because I was just binging Mark. I hadn't really gotten into shmups at that point. I was playing Street Fighter, and that's how I had I'd gotten into Street Fighter and kind of Tekken, but not really. Mm-hmm. And then started watching a lot of Mark's like shit, and then Signy and like whatever that one was called, the Signy video, and I was like, I like this motherfucker. And then the Hidden Fortress was recommended after that, and yeah, it was, and then Pan and Hazy and you, and kind of like down the line as you go down the algorithm of like, okay, so what is YouTube going to personally serve me today?
Mm-hmm. Man, I'm just happy to be involved in the chain. I don't even feel like up like on the tier of those people, because like when I end up talking, whenever I end up making a video, I do like I exist in like my head a lot, and I'll just like it feels like it's like I have to like poop, where I'm like I just have to talk, and like I don't exactly have the. It's something that I noticed. It was something I mentioned about like your video when I reached out. I was like, dude, this is, if you were ripping a fat vape, this would be a Spiders vid. And it's true, because I think like I envy people who have the like dedication to commit to like making something edited and crafted, because that's not my style. Like it could be. I have the means. I have the emotional intelligence to sit down and discipline myself to do something more than one day in a row. But I feel like I'm such a... Damn, sorry, that Sprite's coming back up. I feel like I'm such a different individual on any given day that I need to capture it all in one go.
Yeah.
Because by day 3 of trying to talk about something and work on it, I'm like, who the fuck is this idiot? Like, who you know?
Right, right. I get it. Like the change in attitude and kind of like doing it raw, so like no foresight. Which is I'm not dissing or anything. If anything, it feels real. Which is really hard to get a grasp on because people can immediately tell if something feels manufactured.
Yeah, for sure. I when I do end up like making, I'm a one take Jake. Like I, maybe I'll trim off the beginning and end. Most of the time, I just leave me hitting start record in the OBS, like on the video. I don't give a fuck. But like, I just have to like it just video start recording, and then I kind of black out, and then like I hit stop recording and I post it, and that's just I don't know. That's always been my approach. So I always like when I see like you put out something, or when I see like Hidden Fortress put out something, Spiders, I find it so impressive to like put a piece of yourself into it that's not spoken in the moment. Like it's not just like freestyle poetry. It's like you can see a bigger vision, and because like I speak these ideas in my head that feel like the videos you guys make, like these ideas that are like ruminating as I walk around, or when I'm like zoning out of a conversation at work or something like that. They have this kind of like grandiosity or maybe artistic nature to them. But I think a lot of people, not a lot of people, again, in my head, I just call it the spider school of shmup videos.
Right.
But like that styling is like how it feels to go through those thoughts and experiences that I just try to capture verbally, because that's my strength, is just being verbose but not dedicated.
See, I feel exactly the opposite. Like yesterday, I recorded the commentary for Angel at Dusk, and I was like, I'm about to go to work. I don't really have a ton of time to edit this. I edited the front of it and the back of it, and so it's good. I'm going to sandwich that in there. Only the real people are going to stay, so they'll appreciate it anyways. And then, so I'm thinking it's garbage, right? And then I re-listened to it after I've posted it, so it's already fucking out there. And I'm like, wow, that was actually decent.
Yeah.
I feel like what I'm saying at the moment is, I mean, like so you're the third time I've done this, right? Every time I get done with it, I'm like, I might as well throw it in the trash, because I feel like what I've said the whole time has been worthless. And then when I look at it, I'm like, okay, that's actually fucking good. So it's weird. Somewhere in between, like we could make a whole person, like a whole confident person.
Yeah, and then somebody who's I don't know, good at like doing splash screens and transitions. That's
yeah.
Respect if you want to do a star wipe.
Please teach me how to fucking do any kind of overlay or even like generators and Resolve. They're super easy, but you're right. Like the star edit or the screen wipe. I would feel like I'm it's too on the nose. It's too like Star Wars. It's too like early 70s American Graffiti, like George Lucas shit. Like that is a little bit too a little bit too goofy.
Yeah. I don't know if you started recording. Sorry, I've just been bullshitting.
Oh yeah. I started recording about 10 minutes ago.
That was I'm trying to think. I made a video kind of chat with Shmuptopia for his like Kofi coffee, whatever it was. And it's called the Super Player Mentality. And we had just been talking for like an hour or something like that. And then I was like, shit, were you recording? And he was like, oh yeah, this is going to be the video. I was like, oh, all right, for sure. I didn't realize like how it was coming together. I get lost in conversations really easily.
Same here. Or I get lost in the conversation, and then something pulls me out, and I'm like, oh shit, where do I go after that? I was
I gotta be
riding
a
the
human.
flow. Yeah, I was riding the flow, and now like I actually have to,
because I listened to the the inaugural episode, and I tend to like when I'm consuming, it's very passive. Like when I'm consuming it, when I'm listening, when I'm absorbing it, it's when I'm driving from place to place. I mean, I use YouTube like a podcast pretty much. Like I just have it blasting through my speakers, and I'm not like watching the video. You got that YouTube Premium,
Oh yeah.
and just turn off the screen and let it rock. But like, so I was listening to that while I was provisioning computers at my job, and it was just super repetitive like work. And I was like, all right, I gotta listen to this, and it turned out really good. And I was like, I can be on that. That's me.
I can
Put me
do
in,
that.
coach.
I can do that. Yeah. I'm ready to play.
I'll swing on that. I don't know. And then I'd actually recently chatted with another person, and that'll be recorded and put out. So I guess I'm on like my podcast circuit.
Yeah. You're right. You're hitting up the Joe
book
Rogans.
tour.
Yeah. And then it's gonna be Tim Dillon after this. Yeah.
Yep. It's NPR. If they don't get
my
defunded,
God, yeah.
I'll get on that too. And they'll be like, what are shmups to you? And I'll be like, what is life?
Yeah.
We'll just see, we'll see
the
what happens
piano
from
music
there.
will be playing in the background as you hit something just like super emotional, like the climax of that, directed by Jim Jarmusch. Yeah.
Oh man,
yeah.
if I could get that credit, are you kidding me? If that name showed up underneath my voice, I'd put that on. I wouldn't even have a resume. I'd just print out a screenshot of that shit and send it to people. Be like, hire me.
Yeah. Oh man. So I know the first place that I went to after starting to play shmups and like getting the Discord invites and everything was Shmup Junkies, and I know that you are extremely active over there. But I would say probably not as much as Actane the mod. Is it Actane or Octane? How do you say his name?
I kind of just go like Octane, and I just like get around it, and I hope he like listens. I think it's more about the K and the T than it is about the A and the E.
Right,
You feel me?
right. Like hitting up the middle syllable. Yeah. And then
I just call him Ak. More often than not, I call him Ak.
Yeah, Ak or just like you, he seems to change his name about every fucking week. And
That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude! I think I mentioned this in one of the other podcasts, but I might have cut it. It was like a week where I hadn't been on in like a month, and then I jumped back on, and it was like Toho week or like Toho month, and he had changed his name and to Zune, and had the like little guy. And I was
I
like,
didn't
"Wait,
even know
what?"
that was him.
Yeah, I didn't either. And then I was like, and then I clicked on it, and it had his fucking username under it. I was like, you almost got me, brother. You almost got me. Yeah, and then Chinopolis also is over there quite a bit, and I find that it has its issues, just like most boards do, but it is very player friendly, and especially with those two guys running it. See, I've missed a lot of this early stuff. So, like, how long has that been around?
Before me, I mean, it has to predate, because I got into the Shmup Junkies Discord 3 years ago. I got into shmups like 3 years ago, so I haven't been in super long in the grand scheme of things. So I want to imagine it goes back maybe another year and a half, 2 years.
Damn.
It has to run deep because if you go to older Shmup Junkie videos, there are times where he'll be like, oh, we ran a caravan of this like PC98 shmup on my Discord or something like that. Yeah, and you'll see, or he'll be pulling from it'll be like every Sega Genesis, Mega Drive, and CD shmup, and he'll have like footage from like Chinopolis or something. So you can kind of use that as like carbon dating for the channel. I'm sure, I mean, I could very easily look at some of the information right now, but I'm more into the speculative fiction of it. Right.
The myth of it. Yeah. Which I really like.
It's been cool to like. I love that like Discord. I pretty much only hang in two Discords, and it's my local fighting game community and Shmup Junkies. And there are other Discords that I visit in the sense that like I have like a niche interest. Like everything that I get into, I'm just overwhelmingly obsessed with.
God,
so
yes.
I have to end
Me
up finding
too. Me too.
Yeah, find the Discord for it. So it'll be like the traditional roguelikes Discord. It'll be like it'll be character specific. Like I joined every character specific Street Fighter 6 character Discord when I was super on that, and like but those I'm purely taking, right? Occasionally I'll give back. Like when I was doing Street Fighter 6 a lot, for example, I wrote a really comprehensive guide to Manon.
Hard character
like,
to play.
Bro, I hit 1700 MR with her. That was my shit. I went off the fucking wall with that game.
Even after the nerf.
No, she never got nerfed. Everybody's wrong. She never got nerfed.
So after everyone else got buffed, there we go. I'll say it like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, Manon's only gotten better. I'll sit and take this. I've never been a Manon down player. I've always thought she was like top 5,
Manon's
top 10 in the game.
awesome.
I don't play her because I think she's like a low tier. I play her because I think she's one of the strongest characters in the game. But like, so maybe there, I was like contributing a little bit, but it's pretty much the Shmup Junkies that I feel like I am a community member.
Yes.
And in people will say like, oh, Germ, I've seen your video or something like that. Or you did like a commentary, you did a kumite or something like that. So in a way I would say I'm a prominent member or a more visible one. But like, yes, you said like every community like has its, has its own like quabbles, but like I think it is without a doubt one of the most like positive communities on the internet that I've ever ran into, where
Most certainly.
I think anybody who gets brought in or who finds their way there, if you're not a shitter, you're probably going to stick around.
I mean,
I like it.
Yeah, even the small issues that I had as a beginner, like like a fresh face, had not much to do with the Discord and had more to do with just like Discord itself, like
Sure.
live message boards, feeling like you're getting run over, feeling like you're interrupting a conversation, or that other people feel like you're interrupting a conversation. So it didn't really have much to do with like the people there. I mean, just like you said, there's always a shitter, there's always somebody, everybody always has a bad day, but it's nothing that like apologies and like actually talking to people has never figured out, out of the ones that I'm, like you said, actively on, or on, the only ones I'm really active on are Shmup Junkies and Shoot the Core. Even like Rev 2020, I mostly stalk, because all those are like veterans over there. And, like I can only really count myself as like advanced in like one game,
Sure.
So
Well,
I like to try to keep
the thing about
my...
STG Rev is there's a very noticeable dichotomy because they have like the new player Oasis. There's a very noticeable dichotomy between the people who will like hang out in general and the people who hang out in new player Oasis, and which makes me, it makes me a little sad because I know there are people who will never feel like they can step out of new player Oasis probably. And obviously like you brought up like the societal rules of Discord, where you try to like step into a conversation, you don't want to ruin, you don't want to derail, you don't want to get overrun or anything like that. And I know a lot of people like feel that very serious, like like there's a big like weight of trying to play by those rules. And that makes me kind of sad for some of the people who will never like make that step over, because really Discord, as long as you're not a dick and you're not really annoying, you don't have to play by like actual people rules. Like 90% of the time, I shouldn't say 90, I don't know, sometimes I'll spend like a whole work day on Discord, if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah.
But like there are times where like I'll go into off topic and I don't give a fuck what anybody else is talking about. I'm going to talk about shit that I'm doing, and I'm
Yeah.
going to not read I'm not going to read the rest of it. I'll go in the off topic. I'll be like, I got Captain Commando down to 4 credits, and I will turn off my phone. Mm-hmm. And like,
Yeah.
you guys can respond to that if you want. That is.
I got to get this
thrown
shit off
into the
my
void.
chest, dude.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because it's better than
And so-
Reddit in some ways. Because Reddit is like long term, right? Like you go and post on Reddit, and you know that in a week you might have something to read. But Discord and the way it works is immediate, and that can be positive and negative.
Yeah, Reddit is correspondence. Discord is a concert.
Oh yeah,
You know,
good point.
it's happening. So like, and I've posted on Reddit about shmups a couple times, but it just never really stuck with me. Sometimes I'll poke my head in and I'll see like like the saddest post I'll ever see on Reddit is like, am I good enough to play Mushi 1.0 now? And I just want to like comment and be like, bro, and that's it. And like hope that conveys my point. But like I realize that I have those like knee-jerk reactions. I'm like, I shouldn't hang out.
Yeah. Maybe this might get taken the wrong way. You just want to give them like a big hug and be like, dude, you are good enough. You're kind of the one that's holding yourself back.
Mm-hmm. That's my general mentality, because I end up not thinking like I'm such a strong player or anything like that. But like I know that I'm like just delusional enough to think that I can do anything, and I'm just humble enough to realize that I can fail.
Yeah.
And so like I understand not everybody exists in my cross point of psychopathy, but like I want them to be there because I know it's pretty easy to game if you're in that headspace.
Yeah. It's easy. It's easy in both ways. It's easy to like succeed like masterfully, and it's easy to fail miserably.
Yeah.
And both of those
I
are going to
sorry.
feel like super extreme, because especially when you're going at something full bore.
I think I forgot who I was saying this to, but like I don't really I feel so good when I win. Like holy shit, I'm the best. Like and I kind of don't feel anything when I lose.
Yeah.
Which is, it makes it really easy to keep trying at stuff for me. Where like I'm just hooked. I'm addicted to the feeling of success, and just completely nonchalant about failure most of the time. Sometimes it hits me, like everybody, but like I keep forgetting if I've sent this to you or sent this to anybody, but like I have a Twitch clip of me when I cleared Crimson Clover. And I mean, I call it the Omega pop off. It's my favorite pop off. I'll listen to that pop off to get myself hyped to go to work.
Right.
I'll listen to myself pop the fuck off. I'm like, yeah, let's be that guy today. And like, I'll send it to you. Maybe you can throw it and you can edit it in.
Yeah, definitely.
But like the way that victory made me feel it's so easy for me to outweigh every single sequential loss I've ever taken in my entire life. If I took them in order and then got one of those, easy, I'd do it again.
Oh yeah. So for me, it was recently it was scoring like 350 million in Mushi Futari, because like I had gotten the clear, and it was miserable score. And
Wait,
then,
was this original Maniac?
this was original
Okay,
Black
for sure.
Label, and and I don't consider myself super good. Like I said, I can really only play Grand Cross Renovation at a high level. That's like the only game that I got in me that I've put a ton of time into, and going back to that and learning how to score with it, and really sitting down, and there's a ton of games I'm sitting down to learn how to score, but then succeeding in like a decent score in that was like, now I can watch that clip and know that I have it in me. However, there's also a B side to that too, to know that like I can do better than that, right? And that's the part that always gets me on like the tail end. It's like a drug, right? You have like the high of it of like, yeah, fuck yeah, I can fucking do this. And then when it wears off, you're like, but I know I can do better though.
Yeah. I I don't know. I kind of think I'm the best. So like, sometimes that's the difference.
It's not a bad
But
way to feel, though. Honestly,
yeah, I think everybody's got to get a little more diluted. Like, it hurts me when people hurt themselves in a way, you know? Like, it's just like, just be sick. Like, you don't have to actually
yeah.
be good, but you can be sick, you know?
Well,
And you could feel sick.
it fucking changes the way you play, because I know that there's a lot of games, like I was playing Viper Phase 1 for like the last couple months, and I was playing it like a pussy, just to be perfectly honest, and like staying in the back and like hitting them as they go, and then I got pissed because I died, and I was just like, man, fuck this shit, and fucking put in another quarter. I didn't put in another. No, I started back over, and I was like, I'm just gonna fucking piss all over this game now. I don't care if I die. And then like sitting up at the top and realizing that like me being upset and angry, I'm now doing better, like going through it, until
getting to channel like confidence. Man, it's crazy how often there's like a synchronicity of conversational talking points. I recently was talking about how like one of the chief things that I learned, it was Bempus on the Shmup Junkie Discord recently cleared
Bempus is
Crimson
awesome.
Clover. Yeah, he's also an incredibly talented player for how shortly he's been playing. Just absolutely shit on my clear time, and I just got to hold that one. Can't be the best.
No.
But I was talking about how like Crimson Clover, like trains certain shmup skills very distinctly. But one of them is confidence, and not like I'm going to be a good player. It's like confidence as like a skill tree in shmups is
Okay.
like seeing a line and go it like you read a pattern, you see a threat, you see a maneuver that you need to make, and then making that maneuver with your hands. It is like the center point between execution, screen reading, decision making, and then actually believing that you're going to do that instead of bombing.
Okay.
And so Crimson Clover trains that constantly because the patterns there's no single smartest way through any one stage. There's lots of like multi-overlapping threats. Whatever you decide to end up with, it'll kind of create this dynamic outcome in some way. And you have to be confident in the kind of read, understanding, execution cycle, as well as stage knowledge and just general fundamental skills. And kind of your route. Like it's the center point, like the confidence, like core of yourself as a shmup player is really buffed by playing that game. Toho does it as well because you end up needing to read a lot of the screen.
Yes.
And because you give up your hitbox indicator when you move quickly, like when you're not doing your focused movement, you need to just trust and believe in the maneuvers that you're going to end up making. A lot of the patterns, you can route your way through, you can know the solution. But I think Toho and Crimson Clover actually do this quite a bit. I was talking to Chinop about this. Toho and Crimson Clover will have like patterns that have this like hard set solution, and then immediately follow them with patterns that have an abstract solution, like a theme.
Yeah.
And it'll hit you back and forth like that. It'll be like, okay, solution. Now I got to go back to this choreograph, and now I'm playing again. And like switching between those modes is kind of what makes it such a jarring. Like it's what makes Toho jarring to people. It's what makes Crimson Clover hard to initially get into, because you're switching between the two forms, the two stances. Your jutsus.
So I've noticed that with Outside as well, like the Red Egg and the Dreamer games is like construction, then improvisation, and then back to construction, like in a more abstract way than what you're talking about, but in a similar way as well. Of like, okay, so area of denial on my right and left, I have to take what's coming in front of me, so this is very much scripted, and then and then it's aimed bullets after that with like I call them landmines of like the things that come down. So then you're on your own from there. It might be different this time. It might be the same as it was last time. And then back to that. The original Mushihime-sama taught me that, of like drawing the line with my eyes, like through the pattern, and then executing in a very quick way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's and then when you can sit and get the focus to do that in every game, no matter how fast the bullets are, then you know that you've developed like a skill that you can take from game to game.
And it would be like I draw the analogy a lot of like driving a car, where like if you were suddenly given like, I don't know, say you're used to driving like a little Miata or something like that, and suddenly you got to drive like a Honda CRV. It's like 20 years older than the car you're used to. You're still gonna know the rules of the road. You're gonna know what to look out for, and you're gonna, and suddenly you need to make a left turn across traffic, and you're like, okay, I know this skill in my head of like, I need to look ahead. Are there any cars coming from this side? And then I need to read in advance if I'm clear on this side. I need to trust that there's going to be no cars appearing from nowhere on the right side, so that I can look again and like make this turn. This same skill is going to apply whether I can accelerate to 60 in 2 seconds, or whether it's going to be like I have to push my car up the fucking hill,
Right, like carry
to get
over.
it there.
Yeah.
So like that same kind of like muscle of your brain ends up getting like trained in shmups, where you're like, I know I need to look for these clearings. I know I need to like do this and this and this. And again, that's confidence in driving. That's confidence in piloting a ship. And there's certain games that just really train that well.
I really think that that is the reason why I switched from controller to stick as well, is because it was like learning a new, it was like learning how to drive or learning how to ride a bike. And then even though I was worse at it, like originally, it was like piloting a ship, right? And then you can take that. Now that's like how I play fighting games. It's how I play platformers. It's become like the main way I play. I feel bad for my M30. It just sits on the fucking shelf all the time. And really the only reason I picked up one of those is because Chinopolis recommended them so well.
It is the best pad, though.
It really is. It really is.
It's funny. I mean, I did the same thing with leverless, though, right?
You use leverless? Oh my god.
Yeah, hold up. I'll bring it over real quick. I'll show you my baby and tell you a fun story.
Man, I could not imagine. I tried leverless and it was...
So when I was getting into shmups, I was having a lot of like ergonomic issues with my hands, because I used to like gamma grind like Street Fighter 4 on like a SNES pad, that like the SNES like 8-bit do style controller.
Yeah.
I would play with like a claw grip, and then I switched to the Hori Fighting Commander, which is also, it's like a 6-button layout pad. And I was just destroying my hands, and I was like, I can't live like this. So I built my first controller, which I'm still so proud of. I love this thing.
Oh my god.
So I made it like out of a chessboard, right?
Yeah.
And I did all the wiring, all the internals for it, and everything like that. And I used, because I was primarily a fighting game player.
Right.
I used shmups as kind of a vehicle to rewire my brain, and like override years and years and years of muscle memory.
Yeah, because I was going to ask how you did that, because I tried to use leverless for like a week and I was like, man, this just ain't happening.
Now, like, it was kind of like by force. I did Eschatos was the first shmup I took down on leverless. But the fighting game that I was playing mostly with leverless was Accent Core plus R.
Okay.
Right around the time that Rollback hit.
Guilty Gear.
And Guilty Gear, living the dream. Order Soul, baby. And so the execution requirement for that game is just obscene. And it cleaned up, like, it was like learning how to write with like a different hand or something like that, where it makes you think, or like learning another language, it makes you reassess kind of the sloppiness in your original methodology. And you start thinking more about like time. It even changes the way you play. You're like, when you're more consciously aware of like the effort that it takes to press a button, you suddenly think about like the kind of decision making that leads into pressing that button in like neutral or something like that.
Right, the body mechanics of it.
Yeah, so you become more aware of it, and then by becoming more aware of it, and then eventually putting it back into the fossilization of your own brain, it strengthens the fundamental skill and also the mechanical execution of it. And so it was overlapping where I was doing like shmups with hit. I mean, I always say hitbox is leverless. I don't own any hitboxes. I make all my own controllers.
Yeah, but hitbox as a catch-all. Yeah.
But I mean, like, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So like, I was taking down like shmups with it, and then like now I can't like really play on a controller anymore.
Yeah.
Like I all my beat 'em up 1cc's I've gotten on hitbox. I can't. My right hand gets all fucked up when I use a thumbstick. And that's because I was like, again, I was grinding the shit.
Like
out of,
early
like, a tiny
onset
little claw pad.
arthritis.
And then,
Yeah.
but I was working IT in a school, so I was fixing Chromebooks with tiny ass screws all the time. Like hours a day of just like Chromebook repair. And so my hands were just obliterated, and I was like, I'm not gonna give up my hobby for these fucking kids' machines.
No. They're just gonna order new ones
so-
anyways, eventually. So fuck it.
So now I'm like the biggest ergo bro on the planet, where I'm like, people will be like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting into stick. I'm thinking about trying this and this and this. And I'm like, shut up, buy leverless. Save yourself. Do hand stretches. Soak your hands in warm water before you play. What the fuck are you doing with your life? Like,
You only have
I'm
one
gonna put
set
this
of
back real
hands,
quick.
man.
Hold up. Sorry, if I kept that there, I was gonna click the shit out of
You're
it.
fine. You only have one set of hands, so taking care of
Yes.
them is, and tendons and bones and everything else. So taking care of them is super important. I saw it was
Stretch often.
Oh yeah, I saw it was a chessboard, and I know you talked to me a little bit about how much you love chess.
Yeah, I mean so I got that chessboard as a gift. It was like a folding chessboard that you carried all the pieces inside of, and the pieces, I'll never look a gift horse in the mouth. They were horribly hideous pieces, and it looked like they were all wearing sombreros.
Oh,
Like,
nice. Nice.
It was dumb and also hilarious. And I turned the sombrero pieces into a necklace that I never wear. But I, I, it was like opportunity, so many opportunities lining up. I'm experiencing wrist pain. I'm getting into a new genre. I have the skills and knowledge to like do wiring and like that kind of shit. Like,
Which is
part of my
already pretty
job to a
impressive.
degree.
Yeah.
What's upsetting is going through the process, learning the skill, getting good at it, and then like cheap market available leverlesses start showing up.
Right.
It was before all that was like really the only other option was like a hitbox at the
And those
time.
are
So you were out $260, $280,
Mm-hmm.
fucking $350 if you wanted it to work on like a PS4 at the time.
Yeah.
And so like it was just all these opportunities, and I went online, I started looking at buttons, and just these beautiful gold and silver buttons were there. And I was just like, it's gotta happen. And yeah, I just like I mapped it out by hand. I actually did custom layout for the buttons, like the action buttons on my right hand.
Okay.
I measured my hand out, and so that it would be in like a really nice, comfortable, ergonomic position
That way
for
it's
myself.
not like, it's more like natural hand laying. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that controller, I mean, I beat it to shit. Now she's a shelf piece because my wife thinks it's cute, and so it's we put things on top of it. And it's a beautiful like just piece of wood with like buttons in it, and like it's always a fun talking point when people are like, "Oh, that's a cool thing. What is it?" And then I'm like,
I made this. Yeah.
You've activated my conversational trap card, bitch. I hope you're ready to listen to me info dump.
You fell into it.
And so, but now I use, and I'm not going to go grab it, it's too far away, but like now I use what I call the war chest, which is, it's a much larger wooden leverless that I made with more, but it has more like function buttons up in the top and right.
Okay,
So that I can actually hit, so I can hit like home and select, actually it works on the PS5, so I could bring it to tournaments and stuff.
Without
but
a brook board,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, and so it looks like a shitty coffee table, like an old wooden coffee table that you'd like set a lot of drinks on, which is why I call it the war chest. I was sanding it down and I stained it, and all the stain was like seeping in really hard in some areas and completely glossing off other areas. And I was like, I'm gonna lean into this. Like, I'm gonna like. I want it to look like a beat ass piece of wood. So
right.
I did like I'm slapping stickers on it. I'm like I carved my initials into it. Every time I like got above like a third place finish, I put a notch up in the top right. That fucking thing rocks. And it's the war chest now. And then I built some controllers for other people. I got like 3D printed, or not 3D printed. I got like a laser cutter, and I cut like plexiglass controllers out, and I did so they were clear, and I did really clean like wiring on them and everything like that, clean cabling. So it was like this huge like passion of mine for a little while, and then like a lot of I get really passionate about some things and then I drop them, and that was like one of them where I was like, wow, this is really fun. And then it was like, you can buy a how T16 for $61, and I'm like, all right, I'm fucking done with this.
Fucking right. All the time and effort and care and attention kind of goes out the window whenever you're like, okay, so how much is my time worth, and is it worth like investing in this?
But I totally detoured from chess.
You're right.
I'm not an exceptional chess player, but I've played it my whole life fairly seriously, in the sense that I'm not going to tournaments, but I've always tried to play really well, and I'm the type of person that will read books about it, and like when there was the big chess boom during COVID, that was a really good time for me too, where it was just like there's a lot of even like accessible material on top of like the fact that I was no longer like, I guess, alone in my friend group of like getting into it or anything like that. Like there was just this big push, and there's a way for it. So I got to ride that too, which is really fun. And it shapes the way you, whatever your inaugural game. Cause I think, a lot of people, I'm not even gonna say a lot. I'm gonna make the most blanket statement of my entire life. I think every person that is a gamer, that is like a gamer now, they were just blindly walking through the forest of gaming. And then like one day they were playing a game and they were like, holy shit, this is a thing.
Yeah.
this is not a button stimulus or like this is not just like a chemical. This is like something I can put myself into.
Super Metroid for me.
For sure. Perfect example. There's like a moment where the light bulb goes on and it recontextualizes your entire view of gaming. That doesn't just apply to video games though. For me, it was chess, where it was like I was a little wood pusher, and I loved it. You know, I learned chess by watching other people play chess and observing like where the pieces were going.
Yeah.
And then I just like that's how I learned that. That was my conscious memory of it. And then I would play, and I would like play against the other kids or whatever, and you'd beat them because they were dumb, and I was dumb, but I was marginally less chess dumb. And then I would like play my teachers, and my teachers would fuck me up, and I was like, nah.
I can't have this. Yeah.
I can't be. I was a big fish, small pond, but now the pond got big, and that kind of flicked this switch in my head of like you can just like try to do things in life.
Right.
It has to happen, I think, to everybody. You know, you got 2 lives, one before you realize you can die, and then everything after that. Like it was one of those situations, but I was like 7 having a midlife crisis.
Oh wow, so real early.
Really, that's like been my whole. I've never connected with like proper like physical sports. I loved working out and everything like that, but I didn't like. I think generally. This whole conversation ties itself together so beautifully. I didn't like the communities around sports generally. And that's what was kind of cool, you know, when I got into fighting games, where at least for me, like the Milwaukee fighting game community is full of the like dopest people will help you move your house type
Milwaukee,
people.
New York, and like Chicago have been the ones.
SoCal maybe too.
Okay, yeah.
But like, get out to your locals. But like,
please get out to your locals.
It was such a good community built around a passion that I had that it's the seasoning to the food, you know, that makes it like the eternal phrase. If you didn't get into the FGC for the people, you fucked up. And it was the same thing with like shmups, where like I was finding myself getting passionate about it. I was getting excited about it. I was finding like videos on the internet about it. And then I found the community, and the community was just like that final piece, you know?
Right.
I never found that in chess. I never found the community aspect in chess. Every time I've ever hung out with chess people, they're like just so insufferable.
They can either be amazing to hang out with or completely miserable to hang out with.
Yeah.
Like there's no in between.
Because they're used to winning in chess. Like,
well,
that's,
and
like,
also
the
used to
that they've
like
become.
Internalizing everything. You know, so it becomes like, are you doing that to me right now as we speak about, like, you know, at a bar, you know?
Am I being digested?
Right.
So it really like shaped kind of how I've thought about gaming forever. Like, you got to get humbled early. I always love the phrase, like, the difference between like the intermediate and the masters. The masters lost more times than the intermediate has played. One of my favorite phrases. It's very true. You know, if the best player you've ever met in your life is the biggest fucking loser. They have more losses than you could ever imagine. Like that person that just steamrolled you like 20 to 1 in Street Fighter. Like, they've lost so many games to do that to your ass. You should be honored. And so, like, I don't know, that's always been like my whole mentality on gaming for like my life, which is why I always not struggle, because I do also understand it. I'm very much aware that there are people who are not me.
Yeah.
You know, the rest of the world exists. And
sometimes sadly,
unfortunately,
sometimes it's amazing, but
and so, like, but in a way I struggle to immediately level myself with people who are like, like, people who like games are the freest way to engage your fight or flight in a totally safe environment.
Oh yeah, without risk of being hurt or losing some part of yourself.
And the only thing that you can ever really lose is time when you play a game, or money if you're
playing
on that
like
shit.
gotcha.
But like,
yeah.
But like that's the only thing that you can give up, and so it makes me. I have to really try to like level with people who are very loss averse. And so, and it was what we were talking about like before this that kind of like sparked the core of this is like people who like self categorize themselves
Yeah.
so that at like different tiers of skills where like they don't they don't want to step outside of their skill because they're so loss averse that losing will either damage their psyche or they think it will damage their social like credit, you know.
Right, right.
um
Well, it comes down to being like aware of yourself, right? Like I know a lot of the things that you had mentioned in like learning how to play chess. Here, I'm gonna say that again since my wife coughed. I know that a lot of the things that you mentioned about how you learned how to play chess are things that you could very well use for not just shmups, but all games, honestly. Like
yeah, I
watching
think
replays. No, my bad. Sometimes I just jump in and I apologize.
Go for it,
like,
go.
Like watching replays. Being mindful of not only the opponent but also yourself, and being aware of your skill level and where you can grow.
You have to be, I don't know, and that kind of plays into like the little bit of delusion. Like you have to believe you can be the best and like play with the awareness that you might lose. Like, and then if you do lose, like your goal is to like that person, that player in your mind that's like, I'm the best to ever fucking do it. You need to turn that loss, like the lessons from that loss, into that player. Like you need to feed it to them. Like, why in that last game was I not the best to ever fucking do it?
Yeah.
Let's analyze. Let's look and like I'm just gonna fucking derail it, but it's somewhat related.
Okay.
There, I've seen discussion about getting better by playing a lot of games, like multiple games, and getting lots
Right.
of like lighter clears. And I've seen my own perspective, which is that's not the best for me. That's not the best way to improve, because I need to consistently have my mistakes kind of thrown in my face in like a sterile environment. Like clearly I have died on this pattern in stage 3 for the past 10 runs.
Yeah.
Let's like and it's so easy to improve if you're honest with what's killing you, what's destroying you. Like you'll if like the best problem to have is to know that you suck at something.
Right, like let's analyze why I fucked up here, not let's move on to something else. And that's what I know we were talking about with like the good and bad things about the beginner's list. And for anyone that doesn't know, the beginner's list is it's on the internet a couple places, but mostly it's on Shmup Junkies Discord, where it is a frankly very wonderfully kept list for the easiest clears to like hardest clears for beginners.
I think so. I didn't even know that the beginners list existed. By the time that I was into like, I'd cleared Eschatos on like original normal, and then I was getting into Mushihime-sama, and I didn't even know about the existence of the beginners list until I saw the video that Octane and Chinopolis made going over the beginners list.
Yeah.
Which is I want to sidestep and put this huge parentheses. It's such an incredible resource. Like, it is, but it's a resource in the same way that like a dictionary is a resource.
Yeah, for everything terrible we're about to say about it, it does, two things good, you know?
And so like when I heard about it, and I looked through it and I was just like, okay, yeah, that's cool. I didn't kind of think about how it might affect people because I saw it wasn't for me, and because I lack the object permanence of like a 6-year-old, it didn't exist anymore. And so as time has passed and I have gotten good, gotten better at shmups, and I hear how people like I'll see like comments on videos that I make where it's just like it always opens with like, I'm not as good as you, but, and they'll say some shit.
Yeah.
Like that is in my head like somewhat of a byproduct. It's a combination of like loss averse people and people with access to the beginners list. Like it curates a certain individual. You don't see the people that it doesn't create like this because they're already psychopaths who just lose until they win.
Right. Like people that brutalize games. Yeah.
But there's people that it creates where they are like a servant to the whims of the list, and because they kind of they're scared to lose, or, and I don't want to say scared like it's a negative thing because I'm not like shitting on
like
people.
it's
Be
understandable
yourself.
with no judgment. Like these games can be fucking intense and scary, like no judgment here.
But it's the kind of like depriving yourself of the growth that you can get by allowing yourself to step outside of your skill range. And then the other side of it, there's so many like psychological things that play into it. There are people who like won't share their beginners list clears because they're not proud of them because it was on the beginners list.
It's very much how I was. Yeah.
It's easy to get in that mindset of like, why would I share my shit? And it's all that like self-categorizing like skill level where you fall in the hierarchy of because apparently we're just a fucking shonen anime.
Right. Power levels. Yeah.
and like, why would anybody want to see my fuck ass clear? And it creates sometimes, I think that is the negative runoff of like those kinds of materials.
Yeah.
That I wish there was like a Surgeon General's warning on it that was like, smoking too many beginner shmups will give you cancer of the like confidence. And you don't like. The other thing is like, if you just want to wreck that whole list, I'm pretty sure like Skosh did the entire beginners list.
Wasn't it in like 6 or 7 days or something? It was something ridiculous like that. Yeah.
It was crackhead shit. Let's be honest.
It was.
And but now he's too all in games, or he's dropping SDOJ, or like that wasn't a limiting factor to him. To him, the list was a conquerable aspect of his like path. He's just like, I'll fucking shoot them all. I don't care. And again, all of this is fine if you want to sit and you want to hang in the list and you want like that you're having like the fucking time of your life. Like, go ahead, please. But also, I don't want people to like get the kind of like toxic ideology of like, I am a beginner, I have to stick to this list. Like, people are talking about Battle Garega.
Well, it's kind of the difference between it's the difference between like being fed and feeding yourself, and also knowing that. Like why you play games, like that's a discussion that we'll never like end up parsing the end of, right? So I know for me, let's just talk about my experience. It was the same thing of like, why would I post videos at all? Because for some reason it felt wrong to post a beginners list, and like me and Germ have said. If you want to post a beginner's list, do it. People will be super supportive of you. It's just a personal thing, right? And then I got my first clear. It was Mushi. And it felt so different. And then I realized why. It's because there was a struggle.
Sure. I wonder, though, because even that, like, that's like a perceived difficulty thing where, like, if somebody was, the GOAT gamer, they come along, they drop Mushi in a day, it might feel different to them, even though it wasn't on that list. Yeah. Right? Even though, or specifically because it wasn't on that list, it, like, to you, you had stepped beyond it. You had grown, you had realized that, you had that moment with yourself where you're like, I've achieved whatever you set out to do, right? The God Gamer comes along, they play Mushi, they beat it in a day because they're the best to ever do it. and they don't feel that feeling of satisfaction, it's like the discussion is less about like even the list itself, but like the achievements that you attribute to it.
Okay. Yeah.
And so like it's easy to point at it because there's a list, but you could do the same thing where like everybody will say like, oh, what's an easy first cave clear, and somebody will inevitably be like Daifukatsu 1.5 with strong style auto bomb, easy breezy, and then somebody will come along and they'll clear it first try, and they'll be like, okay, yeah, that was fun. And somebody will come along and they'll play it for 30 hours and they won't clear, and they're like, I'm garbage booty butt. Like, why would anybody, like, I'm the worst to ever do it.
Yeah.
It's the list exists as an analog to explain the whole, the theme of the discussion, but it's more like caring about how your skill is perceived.
Right. So the list is a guide and not a manifesto.
And but it's a manifesto for people who never want to like feel bad about themselves too.
Okay,
Sometimes.
good point. Yeah.
It can serve as like a cradle, and I'm not saying you have to evolve beyond it, but I just don't want people to attach meaning to it. I don't want them to attach meaning to anything that they haven't like done for themselves.
Yeah.
In this genre, at least, like, I don't know. I there's like this,
it's an extremely hard topic to feel like you're making any like headway through the actual discussion of it, because it's so like singular. Like the meaning is so different to every single person that like the way me and you feel about it is very similar. But the way Joe, I just picked up my first shmup a week ago, and and this is what I picked off the beginner's list, feels different. And then maybe somebody else has his exact same thing and wants to go clear DOJ first, and is like, fuck the beginner's list. It is so personal in a way.
Yeah.
That it's hard to broach the subject at all, really.
I just think that, I mean, it's so easy to point at like the negatives, and again, the overarching thing is like, it's a fantastic resource.
Yes, it is
a resource, though. It is a resource. It is not a test. It is not an assessment of yourself. And I just don't want. I don't know. I just don't want to see the comment anymore that starts with, I'm not as good as you, but, as if I give a fuck how good you are.
like we're grading each other based on our clears and our scores. If anything, it should be how you feel about yourself doing it, not, oh, well, I scored more than Germ, that means I'm better than him. It should be, oh, well, I scored 300 million yesterday, but I scored 400 million today. Therefore, I am better than myself from yesterday.
Yeah, and I was also thinking like the alternative phrase that people should maybe start thinking about using instead of assessing themselves like as this like overall skill. Like, I would rather, and I'm gonna jump back to the example of like YouTube comments that I've seen. I would rather somebody says, hey, I suck at Mushi 1.5. Like, I'm so bad at Mushi 1.5. Every time I get to stage 3, I lose. To me, that is a targetable, tangible conversation I can have with somebody. If you come in and you say, I'm not as good as you, this game is fun, thanks for making this video, what do I engage with? What does that... Am I supposed to make you feel better by saying, no, you're great, do better?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to say, thanks for watching, you do suck? Am I supposed to?
Agreed. Yeah. Now go. Yeah. I'm not going to finish the rest of that thought, or else it's going to go.
So I think like, I want to kind of spread the gospel of making your shortcomings tangible so that you can work on them if you want to. Because it's just, again, to the initial point of this, it's how my brain operates, and I have a difficult time not immediately knee jerking to just like, okay, I understand you suck, or you think you suck, or whatever. But like, what do you suck at?
Right.
What
Show me this
sucks?
so we can have some kind of conversation and like there's some kind of tangible like detail that I can help you with instead of just being like, yes, as a matter of fact, you do actually suck.
Yeah, and I don't think any random like shmup bro online can be a therapist to your feelings of inadequacy as an individual. But they can absolutely be the doctor to the ailment of your inability to macro dodge on stage 4.
Oh, most certainly. Like actual like mechanical skills, not anything that's like inside you, because honestly there's a lot of that I don't want to touch. I'm not a therapist. I have a hard time dealing with my own emotions. So dealing with someone else's is not necessarily what I want to do. But yes, like you said, when it comes down to you are actively doing this wrong with your fingers, or you are thinking about this wrong, that's different than being like your emotional state is not quite up to speed.
Yeah, because it's so okay to suck at something.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually pretty cool to suck at something and still do it. That's rad as fuck.
Yeah,
if you
right.
think
That's
about it.
everything I've ever done in life.
Have you ever been to karaoke with people who are bad at singing?
Oh, I've gotten so fucking shit faced and sang karaoke. Yeah.
Tell me that's not like a highlight moment though.
Oh,
like,
certainly, because you're having fun.
Because you know who the shitty people are? The people who talk shit at the side of the bar. That somebody can like, oh my god, like they're horrible singers. And like the closer you get to that person who's singing, the more you realize like the joy grows by orbit.
Emanating like out of them. Yeah. It was the same way I approached free shows, right? So whenever I used to play like live, if you paid, you got something serious, and I made sure I put like my all in it. If you got something free, then you were part of the show. Go up there, I come on stage and sing this song. It was very much like, like approaching that, and like both are fine. A lot of people, especially nowadays, think in a very binary, like good and versus bad thing. It can just be like shades of gray. It can just be okay, or it can be double-sided too.
There's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot you could dig into that in general.
Oh yeah,
about the nature of being. But yeah, like this.
Kirby brought up philosophy last episode, so yeah.
It's hard not to, but it's an inherently mental genre. Well, life is inherently mental because we unfortunately live in our own brains. The moment that you can just like take some ayahuasca and dissociate, you'll realize how meaningless everything is. So just get on that.
Take some ketamine,
yeah. Let's get wild. Let's get in the hole. But I guess to kind of bookend at least what I was thinking about while I was in the bathroom. Don't attach yourself to like where you fall. Don't attach yourself to how good you are. And if you're getting anything out of this genre, it's like your own personal growth and the community. Like those two things are like the best part of it. It's the things that make it sing and make it worth like staying in,
Oh yeah. I think it's like two things that come together and make one, right? Like your own personal growth, and then being with a community that truly cares. It is something I've never truly experienced before, because like I used to play DOA 2 competitively for like about 3 years, and even like the FGC then, which was like the mid 2000s, was a little bit better than it is now, with like a lot of the toxicity and stuff that's going on. It was a lot more like local and homegrown.
Sure.
So it had been since then since I've experienced anything like that. I did have a question written down that I wanted to ask you, and it was from your DOJ video.
Sure.
I wanted to
Thanks for watching.
Right, of course. I wanted to see if this was a joke or if you were serious about it. You opened with saying, so I'm going to begin this video like I begin every good run, by death and a reset.
Like, is that true?
Yeah.
Yes. That's how I did. Well, okay, one of two things happen. Either so God, I could talk about this forever. Either I reset like stage 1, stage 2, some shit like that, and immediately clear. I have max 2 runs in me a day.
Right.
And my runs, my play style generally, to be conducive to being a family man, is I spend every waking moment of my life that's not gaming thinking about gaming.
Yeah.
And then I get home and I cram all the things that I thought about in a day into like an hour. I'm normally only able to get like 2 runs in. Most of the time it's even just 1. I'll do like 1 big boy run, and then I'll spend the rest of the time in practice mode.
Yeah.
And my first run is like generally my best, but if it's not my first run, it's my second run. And the amount of times that I've started up a game and I'm like, okay, it's my proper gaming time, start playing, splat in stage 2, reset into the clear, like 10 times now, easy.
So like a warm up, kind of a little bit. It's like, okay, well, I got that one out of me, and now it's time to do the good shit.
Yeah, and then like with Crimson Clover, for example, I booted up a stream. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna stream today. And my dogs are running now. I booted up a stream, and it was the first run of the day. It just cleared right out the gate. Shut off, pop the fuck off, and shut off the stream. But it was like 2 years ago now.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, same thing with Battle Garega. I booted up a stream. I got one really good first run. And Scotia was in there, which is funny because I happened to pop in during Scotia's Battle Garega clear.
Yeah.
And then Scotia and I actually have a parasitic relationship where we only show up when the other person clears. It's been a couple times now. It happened with me where I popped into a stream during SDOJ and he cleared too.
Oh, nice.
But he popped in. I had a really good run. He goes, I think you can clear. And I cleared the next run. And it just like... Excuse me, I got another Sprite like an idiot. And yeah, I have like the fuel and the focus for like 2. And if it doesn't happen, I leave it for the next day.
I think that's actually a really healthy way to play, is instead of putting just like a ton of time into it, like condensing it down to a certain amount of time, and especially like that's one of the big things that I like to stress on this podcast is that, like, you know, none of us are doing this for a living. You know, all of us are doing this either as like a side thing or as a hobby. And so, like, keeping your time managed is super important because, like, full-time jobs, children, significant others, is super serious big boy shit. You know, where like I have 4 fucking kids. You know, like yesterday I woke up at 4:30 and then got the kids on the bus at 7 and then edited for like 5 hours. And then was able to play for like 30 minutes. But you know what? That 30 minutes felt fucking great.
When you're limited, I think there's something to it. I get really bad choice blindness.
Yeah.
And I'm a victim of spending my entire game time for the afternoon looking at my Steam library.
Netflixing it pretty much, being like,
and I'm like, God, I got so many good ass games. Look at this collection. Oh, I can't even. Who's gonna touch me the best? And then I go to bed, and so what I started doing was I did the Germcade method, as I call it. I just love throwing my name on shit, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Battle Jermega,
Battle Jermega, that's
that was a
timeless,
classic,
dude. Mars Germ Tricks, I'll love that forever. Dio Germ was perfect.
Yeah, Dio Germ was good.
Dio
Germ.
Yeah. So those are sick. But if my name gets attached to it, I have to clear it.
Yeah.
Kingdom Germ Pre. I like that one.
Oh, yeah. See, I wasn't around for that one. Yeah.
I never recorded that clear because it just happened. But Kingdom
nice.
Germ Pre was a fun one.
That's a fucking weird, hard, awesome game.
Send it. What was I thinking? Battle Jobs. Fucking.
Yeah, we gotta do the path back.
We were talking about. Hold up. It was post Skosh, Battle Garega, game time management.
Game time management. That's what it is. Having a certain amount.
The Germcade.
That's
Germcade
right,
method.
because you spent all night looking at your shit. Yeah.
In a pseudo-sexual way. I what I did to combat that, because I have to kind of build rules for myself, again, like a toddler. And what I did was I had a single file folder on my computer. And in that folder, I was only allowing myself to have up to 4 games or links to executables, like to Steam executables or something like that. And so whether that be like a single MAME distribution with a ROM or 2 ROMs, like an emulator, the link to like Crimson Clover, the EXE link shortcut, And what I would do for my game time is I would give myself like 4 credits. Like, oh, I got an hour. I'm going to give myself 4 credits to spread between the Germcade. I just walked into the Germcade. How do I want to spend these credits? And I found that like it laser focused me into what I was in the mood to play.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I can spread around a little bit. I can play a credit of Thunderblade and like 2 credits of Blue Revolver or something like that. And it made me really value like not restarting too and like pushing a run as hard as I could. And the thing is, like, obviously I could break that rule. I could easily open my Steam. I could easily
you just be
do
like,
that,
fuck it. But it requires discipline. Yeah.
By nature of it being in a folder and me naming it the Germcade, I was like, Germcade. And then I just committed to it, like it was enough for me. And so that like kind of mentality helps when like you're really like limiting yourself, or you are limited, not limiting yourself. When you are limited with the time that you can spend. Like if you think about like Chinop as a family man, he's busy as all get out, and that motherfucker snorts clears.
Yeah, he fucking does.
He's chemically altered and engineered to create clears. And he's not doing it with, like a no job, like 8-hour day, just like banging out, like grinding all day. He's efficient, he's smart, and he values the time that he spends.
Use save states.
Use save states.
Like, I looked directly at the camera and said that. Use save states. Trust me. Like you will see your efficiency and your skill level rise almost immediately. I know I did. The first one I tried it out with was I was watching Chinopolis' run, and here's the thing, I usually don't watch replays for information. I watch them for fun. And I was watching it on like how to get past a certain asshole boss, and I was like, I don't want to run this motherfucker again. And then started using save states, and like immediately I was almost through the first loop. You know, like within 24 hours, and I was like, wow, I thought all this was bullshit. I thought all this was like, you know, kind of like getting sold, like, I don't know, the like a infomercial kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. Well, imagine if you were trying to study for like a biochemistry test and you had to read the whole textbook just to get back to the part that you wanted to do flashcards on.
Every time you made a mistake. Or
every single time. And sure, you'd get really good at reading pages 1 through 296, but you're going to get to page 297, you're going to be like, I can't fit more info in my brain right now.
No.
Start on 297, make a fucking flashcard. So forgive my candor on that one, but yeah, use save states.
That's awesome, because it really is about and I never want to think that's kind of the hardest thing about making something where you're trying to include absolutely everyone is not trying to either talk down to someone or talk up to someone, you know. It's so I think that's why during like the topic before the last one that we were talking about, I was like, no, not saying this, not saying that. I feel like I don't know the proper way to approach that on things, because most people here will know to use save states, and then there'll be other people that be like, well, I'm just doing this for fun, I don't want to use save states, and that's perfectly fine, you know. But if you're looking for something more, I guess, and which was kind of one of the last things I wanted to ask you, is when you are going into a game, because I know that everyone looks for different things in different games, right? Every player's different. Every game's different. Are you looking mainly to survive, or are you looking to score? Or does it just depend on the game?
I feel like a calling to a game. So
Okay.
what happens when there's like, I'm so sorry about the Sprite. It was a poor idea.
Bro, you're fine. I will cut every Sprite burp, and then I'll just put them all at the end and like
slap some reverb over it.
like Macho Man taking breaths during his during his promos.
Hit it with the wah wah pedal. But when I'm never like actively looking for a game, my brain gets hooked on things, and I never have to like look for what I want to do next, unless I'm staring at my Steam library and I need to treat myself like a toddler.
Right.
But small detour, when I ended up doing like the Punisher and Final Fight.
Great games. I actually just watched your Final Fight video. Like,
did you watch the whole 2.5 hours? You fucking maniac.
No. About I have about an hour and 45 minutes so far.
Okay.
It was fucking yeah. But like that's one I've only ever cleared like one beat. I've played tons of beat 'em ups in my life. I've only ever cleared one, and it's Fight and Rage. And so I would love to go back to the ones that I like grew up with, you know. And so, Final Fight was one that I remember playing in the fucking arcade. And so I would love to go back to that. And then seeing yours really shows, and also listening to and reading a lot of Bog Hog has really shown me like just like there's hidden depths in shmups, there's hidden depths in beat 'em ups too.
In moving and punching.
One button.
But what happened with, generally, sometimes two.
Sometimes.
But what happened was Octane was talking about playing the Punisher, and he knows that I'm like a beat 'em up person, so he like shot me a message. He's like, yo, beat 'em up fundamentals. What am I doing? Why can't I walk at people? And from like starting to explain it to him, I realized it's not so immediately logical. And I got really hooked on the Punisher because I started to get like this project in my head.
Okay.
I was like, okay, wait. I'm feeling beat 'em ups again. I was like, I kind of want to talk about beat 'em ups, and so I started playing the Punisher, and I got the 1cc, and I was like, okay, I don't want to talk about beat 'em ups through the lens of the Punisher because my first 1cc ever of anything was Final Fight.
No
before
shit.
I got into shmups.
Okay.
No shit.
No shit.
When I got into arcade games beyond fighting games, it was through the Capcom Beat 'em Up collection.
Love it. Yeah.
And it was deep COVID, and I played Final Fight and just got hopelessly addicted to it, and took me like 90 hours and I cleared it. And it had been like 6 years since I did that, right? And maybe five, six, something like that. And as I was playing through the Punisher, but I was thinking about it through the lens of Final Fight, and then I just had this calling to like start playing Final Fight again. And I was playing Final Fight, and as these ideas were ruminating around in my head, I was like, I need to turn this into something.
Yeah.
I need to create something from this. And that hooked me on the game more than clearing it. Clearing it was part of it, but it was this kind of I don't see myself as an artist, but I see myself as a creative that needs to share sometimes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So what happens is, like with DOJ, I didn't want to play DOJ so much as like I wanted to feel out the discourse, because you can't talk about shmups without DOJ coming up, right? And I had to see why people love the game so much. And through my time with playing the game, I was like, I don't want to fucking play this anymore. And I was like, why don't I want to play this anymore? And I would play it again, and I was like, what is not sticking with me? And I would play it again, and I'm like, something isn't there. And I would play it some more, and then eventually I cleared the game, got all the way to the end, and I was like, I have to make a video about this. Like, I have to just analyze myself through words, because it's how I think, you know? And so when I'm getting into a game, it's like the creative part of my brain needs something to digest. Sometimes that is scoring.
Yeah.
Like for Blue Revolver with like Stasis Field, when I made all the Stasis Field videos. Or I guess there's a couple of them, but I was like, I had to, like, that was my motivating factor, was like, I need to take this, like, these ideas that are not tangible in my brain, and I need to put them into like a video. I need to talk about them. And to do that, to turn it into like usable words, I have to clear this game. And with Mars Matrix, it's a really cool game.
Fascinating. Yeah.
It's an awesome game. But what was cooler was like Chinop was playing it at the same time. And I was like, Chinop, what if we like clear this around the same time? Would you want to commentate it with me? And he's like, you want to do like a dual commentary? Which, by the way, dual commentaries are the shit.
Yeah, they are.
I was like, would you want to like dual commentate this with me? He goes, yeah. So then I had this creative motivation to keep pushing through. With Battle Gorega, I knew that Chinop was going to audit my run. On the far side of it, yes, I really wanted to beat the game for myself, because it was something that I wasn't able to beat before. But it was like this thing in my head I had to get out. So like, whether the thing that like calls me to a game is the survival or the scoring is kind of irrelevant. It's like how I need to like vomit out this like creative tumor in my brain that I just have to get rid of, because otherwise I can't function in regular society. Because I'll be sitting at work. And somebody will be like, Jeremy, how was your weekend? And I'll be like, there's this thing in stage 4 of Battle Gorega, right? So like, I'm really trying to control my rank, but like the thing about stage 3 is I don't want to do an SD too early, because if I go into stage 4 and then they're like, okay. And so I don't know. It's like, that's like the thing that hooks me on a game. And then there's a flip where it goes from like, I know that this is what I need to do, and I always call it the moment of like smelling blood.
Yeah.
When it's like, oh, I can clear
this is
too.
possible. Yeah.
And so the kind of blend of like being able to get rid of this like guttural reaction to having a creative thought in my mind, and also getting to finish a game, is generally what drives me.
That is awesome, because I think I just learned about myself also in hearing you talk, because the last podcast episode, me and Kirby and the Hidden Fortress were talking about like the differences in survival and score players, right? And he's like, "Oh, well, you're more of a score player," and I'm like, "Yeah," but then I look at like my Bat Rider runs and like a couple other ones, like my I'm playing Ibarakuro right now. I really couldn't give a shit less about scoring in it, and I'm like, why those, and then why these other ones? And I think it's similar in the way that you're talking about, and where it's like a focus of just, if the game is this certain way, then I'll play it this way. If the game is this certain way, then I'll play it this way. I'm not really one or the other. It's like something gets stuck in my head, and my wife tells me this all the time. Something gets stuck in my head, and I cannot get it out until it's completed, until there's a big fucking bow on it, and it's ready to go out, and it's ready to be delivered, and then that is all I focus on.
I think, and I think a lot of it's creatives in general, it's artists in general. I think the difference between calling myself a creative versus calling myself an artist, like, I don't think I'm an artist. I think I'm a creative because my creative thoughts, right? But I think artists can take those creative thoughts and make a work out of it.
Yeah.
And that's what, bringing it back to the beginning of what we were talking about, that's what I generally envy about somebody like yourself, somebody like Spiders, somebody like Hazy, somebody like Hidden Fortress. It's something that I don't feel that I have. But I do the thing that I do. I do my creative side as well as I possibly can. And hopefully from my words or something like that, maybe an artist will find something within it, some nugget of truth. I'm just the text. Maybe they will find something within it that allows them to create, and then I'm happy to have influenced,
So by playing the game, though, and recording a run, that is a performance, right? Like how I've talked about it before, like how a musician gets on stage, that performance, it would be considered art, right? I mean, art doesn't always have to be nice and pretty and everything else, but it's like a self-expression, right? So why can't like replays and not the act of playing a video game, but the act of recording a performance of that video game be considered that? Not that I'm saying I necessarily agree with that, but it's just an interesting thought.
I think it's like how you would really respect the skill of somebody who can do improv comedy really well, but you can sit and you can rewatch a good tight hour comedy special for the rest of your life,
right?
So it's the showcase versus the refinement. And I think, like, I don't imagine somebody watching my videos multiple times, but I can imagine they would really enjoy the first time through. I would hope they would. And I can see somebody rewatching it, myself. I can see somebody like myself rewatching like Spider's Andrew Duno's video a bunch of times,
right?
Or something like that, because there's this musicality to it that turns it from a performance into a piece. And I think it's just the additional time that's been put into it. I can appreciate the skill so much, but I can really appreciate like the obsession to make it into something tangible.
Oh, you can feel the hours invested. You can even if you don't know that that's what you're feeling, you can like sense it, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Blaze of Storm video I did, where I didn't want to put it out. I'd literally been sitting on that run for a fucking month because I'm like, I know Terran, like he might not watch my video, but like I feel bad talking shit about this fucking game, and so then like I added an intro onto it, and I was like, okay, now I'm like ready to share it. And then like knowing that, I was like proud of that, putting that out. And yeah, I think that is one of the reasons why I do like like fancy intros and all this other shit is because it is like an artistic like statement, right? It's like saying like this is me, like splurted out on in video form. You know, and it might not always be focused, it might not always be good, but it is always me.
Yeah, it's cool to be able to put a thesis statement on something.
But like, I think you downplay yourself though, because you like literally in the first 6 seconds of your fucking DOJ video, that sentence comes up, and that could be the entire thesis statement of that entire video. You know?
Yeah.
Touche, friend. You got me this
Fair.
time. I will
Fair,
think of
fair.
something else. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's fair. I mean, who am I to say, like, what I make or what somebody else makes isn't, I don't know, artistic or otherwise. I only know, like, the lens through which I see the world and the envy that I have of the ways that I don't.
Yeah.
And maybe I can, like, rub my shit in someone else's face. Like, oh, I bet you can't talk to a microphone for 2.5 hours straight and create a guide off the dome.
Right.
Off
right.
the
You ain't
just
got
spit
this.
me a beat. Just spit me a beat. I'll go fucking a la carte on this video. I don't give a shit.
Man.
Maybe they can't do that. And that's why I put it out. Not to shit on anybody else, but because it's what I have to do. Like, I can't. I now. It's like one of the 6 things that keeps me from walking into traffic. And like 2 of them are playing behind me right now. So
I could not think of a better closing statement than that.
I'll take it. I think that's it makes sense to me though, because the world is super fucked up. And,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Literally, it was on Twitter while you were fucking doing your dogs, and I'm like, why do I even look at this fucking thing? You know, why do I go anywhere else other than Shmup Junkies? You know,
it is my last social media outlet at this point. I don't have anything else. It is Discord or I'm with my family, and like that's it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my wife is, and I guess I go to like. I have like the local fighting game community too, so technically I meet these people in person. I've met Octane in person a handful of times now.
Fuck
We're
yeah.
super close.
I would love to. I would love to meet one of the motherfuckers I know on the internet in person. Like
I got to meet Chinop too.
Oh hell yeah!
You want to know the most upsetting thing?
Georgia boy,
is
right?
When I met Bama.
Bama. I'm a Georgia boy. There we go.
You want to know what upsets the shit out of me about Chinop is I met him and he's tall, dark, and handsome. I was like, you fucker, you can't have everything.
No,
it's
no,
not fair.
No, and
You
aging
can't have
very
1,000
well, and aging
Yeah,
very
you
well.
can't have 1,000 clears and a happy family and look like that, you piece of shit.
And a deep ass voice with a southern drawl, like you know,
Pisses me off.
yeah, right.